Hello everyone, you are welcome to today's class. So in this class, we want to continue our topic, which is we are still on fraction. And in this class, we'll be looking at arithmetic operations with fractions. So under that, we're looking at addition and subtraction of fractions, multiplication and division of fractions. Then we look at mixed operations. Mixed operation is the same that we're going to have these four operations in a single question, or we have more or two or more operations in a single question. So that's what we want to look at. But before we look into that, let's start with addition and subtractions. So these are examples that we want to look at. So simplify the following. We have this, and we have these four examples that involves addition and subtraction. So let's start with the first one, solution now. Solutions. The first question says 1 divided by 3 plus 1 divided by what? 3. Now, if you look at this question, you will see that the denominators of the two fractions are the same. So when the denominators are the same, so to add or to subtract is somehow simple. Out and what? So what do I mean by that? What you're going to do is, once the denominators are the same, just add the numerators together and pick one denominator. Meaning that 1 plus 1 divided by what? By 3. So that gives you 2 divided by what? 3. Simple. All this is clear. So if it is subtraction too, for example, you have 2 over 5 minus 1 over 5. So if you want to solve this, you subtract the numerators. 2 minus 1 all over what? 5. That gives us 1 all over what? 5. So that is straightforward. That's how to solve problem when the denominators are the same. I believe this is very clear to you. Then the second aspect, number 2, we have this 2 over 5 plus 3 over 4. We have 2 over 5 plus 3 over 4. If you look at this question, you notice that it's quite different from this. So the denominators are not the same. So what are you expected to do? I'm going to show you two methods. So there is one butterfly method that is very common that you can apply here. So what does that mean? It means that multiply this by this, multiply this by this, divided by the product of the denominators. So you multiply this by this, multiply this by this, then divided by this one. That's what called butterfly method. So in that case, we have 2 times 4, we have 8, plus 5 times 3, we have what? 15, divided by 5 times 4, which is what? 20. That's the first one. So we have this one. 8 plus 15 gives 23, divided by what? 20. So which is what? 1 whole number, 3 all over what? 20. But if you don't want to go through this butterfly method, so what you are expected to do is to find, you have 2 over 5, 2 over 5 plus 3 over 4. So you find the LCM. So this is method 2. Method 2. This is method 1. When the denominators are not the same, right? So method 2 is this. You find the LCM of 5 and 4. Thank God we have done LCM before. So check one of the videos. So LCM of 5 and 4 is 20. Is 20. So 5 in 4. 5 in 20 is what? 4. 4 times 2, 8. Plus 4 in 20, 5. 5 times 3, 15. You notice that this step here is same thing as this one, which is still correct. Hope you've seen that. So in that case, it's still the same thing, 23 all over what? 20 is equal to 1 over 3 all over what? 20. I hope this is very clear. So that is that. So I've been able to show you that when you have when denominators are the same, and when denominators are not what? The same. Let's now look at when we have mixed fractions. That is example example number 4. So before that, let's look at example number 3. Number 3, example 3 says 2 divided by 5 minus 3 divided by what? 8. So we can use butterfly method here again, the same way. So this will give us, multiply this one together, that gives us 40 Then this multiplied by this, that gives 16, minus 5 times 3, that is what? 15, which gives us 1 all over what? 40, which is straightforward, right? So let's now look at the fourth example. So number 4, we have 2 whole number 3 all over 4 minus 1 whole number 7 all over what? 10. We have this. So here, what we are expected to do here, there are two ways. The first one is you can subtract straight. I'll use the two methods for you. I'm going to compare answers. So the first method is this. You change this one to improper fraction. Change this also to improper fraction. So let's change this one to improper fraction. So we have 2 times 4 gives what? 8. 8 plus 3, that gives what? 11, divided by what? 4. Minus 1 times 10, 10. 10 plus 7, that is 17, all over what? All over 10. So then we can then use our butterfly method as well, or we find the LCM of 4 and 10. So LCM of 4 and 10 should be 20. This is it. 4 here, 10 here. 2 can go here, 2 here, 5. 2 can go 1, 5. 5 can go 1, 1. So 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 5, that is 20. So 4 in 20, that gives what? 5. 5 times 11, that is 55. Minus 10 in 20, 2. 2 times 17, that is 34. So we subtract 55 minus 34. This is what? 1, and this is what? 2. So that gives us 21 over what? 20, which results to 1 whole number, 1 all over what? 20. So that is the first part. That's the first part, right? Now the second part, I don't really advise students to use the second part, but I will show you in this video. Because if questions you make mistake, something can happen. It depends on the question. So let's see if the question we address the problem or not. So we have this. So 2 whole number 3 all over 4 minus 1 whole number 7 all over 10. So what you are going to do first is that the whole number subtract the whole number, that is 2 minus 1. Right? So that's the first thing. Then find the LCM of the denominator, which is what? 20. Right. So 4 in 20, that gives what? 5. 5 times 3 gives what? 15. Am I with you? Then minus 10 in 22. 2 times 7, that gives what? 14. So that means 2 minus 1 is 1. Then 15 minus 14 is 1 over what? 20. Which we still arrive at the same answer. But there are some questions that what you are going to have here will be less than what you're going to have here. So I'll come up with a question like that now. What you are going to have here will be different from, it will be less than what you are going to have here. So what are you going to do? So I'm going to show you this how you're going to solve that shortly now. Question number 5. We have 4 whole number 3 all over 5 minus 1 whole number 9 all over what? 10. So we have this. We're going to use the two methods I just explained now. So let's convert this one to improper fraction. This is 23 all over 5 minus this is 19 all over 10. So let's find the LCM, which is 10. 5 in 10 is 2. 2 times this, that is 46. Minus 10 in 10 is 1. 1 times 19 is 19. So that's 46 minus 19. This is what? 7. And this is 2. That means we're going to have 27 all over 10, which is 2 whole number, 7 all over what? 10. Right. Now we want to use the other method. So the other method is 4 whole number, 3 all over 5, minus 1 whole number, 9 all over 10. So in this case, so we are going to subtract the whole numbers. So that is 4 minus 1. And we'll find the LCM of the denominators, which is what? 10. Right? So 5 in 10 is what? 2. 2 times 3 gives what? 6. Minus 10 in 10 is what? 1. 1 times 9 is what? Is 9. You can now see that this number is smaller than this number. So we cannot have negative as what? Fraction here. So in that case, what are we going to do? Don't forget that this will give us 3, right? Then we still write this on 6 minus 9 divided by 10. So what I said, you are going to borrow 1 from this 3. So that will be 3 minus 1 again. So the one you are borrowing, because what you have here is 10. It's going to become what? 10 then. So you add 10 to 16 here. It will now be 10 plus 6 minus what? 9. Everything divided by what? 10. I hope I'm making sense. So this will then become what? 2. Then 16 minus 9 all over what? 10. So that is 2 whole numbers. 16 minus 9 is what? 7. All over what? All over 10. So you can see that we have the same answer as we have it here. But I don't usually advise that students should adopt this method because of the technicality of this aspect here. So some we just forget that, okay, 6 minus 9 is just like 3 over 10. And the teacher will think that I've solved the problem. No, I got the answer correctly. No. So you have to be very careful while applying this method 2 here. Hope that is very clear. So this is method 1. So method what? 1, so method 1, method 2. So this we're going to stop on addition and subtraction. We move to multiplication and division of fractions now before we look at mixed operations, right? So we will start with multiplication before we move to division of fractions. So multiplication of fractions now. Let's look at these examples. How do we solve them? So simplify the following. The first question that we have here is 3 divided by 5 multiplied by 4 over what? 9. So here, what you're expected to do here, you notice that what we have between the two fractions is multiplication. So it means we can divide this. If there's a number that can go, if there's a number that is a factor of any of the numerators and any of the denominators, you can do that. So 3 can divide 3, 3 can also divide 9. So what you're supposed to do is just divide this on 3 here 1, 3 here 1, 3. Do you have any other thing that can divide? No. So that means we have 1 multiplied by 4, that gives us 4, divided by 5 multiplied by 3, that gives us 15. Simple. That is very straightforward. So there are some times that you will not see any number that can divide either the numerator and the denominator at a go. So what you're going to do is just multiply the numerators, then multiply the denominators and go. Just like when you have 1 all over 2 multiplied by 3 all over what? 5. There's no number that can divide the numerator and the denominators. So what you're trying to do in this case is multiply the numerators. That will be 1 times 3, that is 3. Then 2 times 5 or 10. That is your answer. Is that clear? Good. So let's look at the second example. And the second example is we have a whole number multiplied by a fraction. Just like the case of this one. This one is 4. So this 4 here is not, it is a numerator. It is certain as writing 4 all over 1. But some students make me say that when you have 4 multiplied by 2 over 5, they are thinking that it is 1 all over 4 times 2 all over 5. They can then cut it like this and they say my answer is 1 over 10. Right? This is very wrong. So you don't do it that way. What you're supposed to do here is, because any whole number you write, any whole number, if you have 1,000, the same thing as 1,000 over what? Over 1. Is that clear? Divided by 1. So that means this 4 is divided by what? 1. Multiplied by 2 all over what? 5. You notice that there is no number that can divide numerator and denominator. But you can see that this is another mistake. 2 can go in 4. So we don't say 2 here 1, 2 here. No, you don't do that. Right? You don't do that. So you use the numerator to divide the denominator, no numerator and numerator. Is that clear? So that means this will be 4 multiplied by 2 all over 5. 5 1 times 5, which is what? 8 all over what? 5. That's one whole number, 3 all over 5. I've explained in one of my videos how to convert improper fraction to what? Mixed number. This is an improper fraction. You can't leave it like that, even if you are not told. Unless if you are working, if you are doing multiple choice questions and you did not see this one as part of the answer and this one is there, you pick this one. But otherwise, you must always simplify your work to what? To the last level, which is you convert it to what? Mixed number. You can't leave your answer as what? Improper fraction. I believe that is very clear. So the last question we have under multiplication is this. So which is 1 whole number 2 all over what? 3. multiplied by 2 whole number 4 all over what? 5. So the case of this one is not like that of addition, whereby we can add the whole numbers and then find the SMO. No, in this case we cannot multiply 1 times 2. No. So the first thing we need to do is to convert this one to improper fraction, and this one the same. So this means 1 times 3 plus 2, that is what? 5 over 3, multiplied by 2 times 5, that is 10 plus 4, that is what? 14 over what? Over 5. I believe I'm making sense. So the next stage, let's look for factors of numerators and denominators that will cause. So 5 can go here 1, 5 can go here 1. So 3 cannot go in what? 14. So that means we're going to have 14 all over what? 3. So we can't leave our answer like this again. So we have to what? Simplify further. So 3 in 14 will give us what? 4. Remainder what? That is 12. Remainder 2 all over what? 3. So that is that on multiplications. Then we move to division. Then before our mixed operation. For division, we only look at these 2 examples. So simplify the following. So how do we do that? So let's solve the solution here. Solutions. The first one we have 3 over 4 divided by 4 over 9. Now, we cannot, because what we have between what we have between the 2 fractions is what? Division. So we cannot say, oh, 3 can go here, 3 can go here. No. Because you must turn this division to multiplication before you can what? Say, okay, this can go in, numerator can go in denominator. Or this numerator and this denominator has a factor that can divide, then they have the same factor. So in that case, we are going to change it. So that will be 3 over 5. We change this on to multiplication. Now, when you change the division to multiplication, the rule is that you are going to what? Flip the next fraction to the division. You flip the next one. That is, you change the numerator to denominator, then denominator to what? Numerator. So that means we're going to have 9 all over what? 4. That's what we're going to have. Hope I'm making sense. So after changing the division to multiplication, then you flip this. Now we come up, then 4 will come down. So in this case, are we going to stop here? No. Do we have any factor that can divide the numerator and the denominator? No. So in that case, we multiply the numerator, then we also multiply the denominator. So in that case, we are going to have 27 all over what? 20. So which will give us 1 whole number, 7 all over 20. I believe this is very clear. So the second example under division is 6 whole number 2 over 3 divided by 5 whole number 1 all over what? 3. Right? So the same thing with this one. We cannot say 6 divided by 5 first. No. So we must first of all change this one to improper fraction. Change this one to improper fraction before we perform the operation on them. So in that case, 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 2 gives what? 20 divided by what? 3. Then put your division sign. 5 times 3 is what? 15 plus 1 gives what? 16 divided by what? 3. So we can then apply this one. So we change this one will remain. The first fraction will remain. That will be 20 over 3 times, then we change this one. That will be 3 all over what? 16. So 3 can go here, 3 can go here 1. 4 can go here 4, 4 can go here what? 5. So we then have 5 all over what? 4, which will give us what? Let me write it here. So this will be what? 5 all over 4, which is 1 whole number, 1 all over 4. So that is that on division of fractions. Then we now move to mixed operations with fractions, where we're going to have different kind of questions, where we're going to have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division in a single question. So let me write that now. So we look at mixed operations now. Simplify the following. We have the first question here, and we have the second question here. So we also have some complex questions. I will say have one more question here before we end this video. So the first one we have here is this, right? The first one we have 1 divided by 1 over 4 of 2 whole number 3 over 4 divided by 2 over 8. This is supposed to be 3 over 8. Sorry for that. 3 over 8. 3 over 8. And then plus 1 whole number 2 all over 3. Now, what you notice here is that this question has division, multiplication, and times. So, because of this bracket is times, all here is of times. So, we're going to make use of these acronyms. We'll make use of these acronyms. Though we have another version of these acronyms, so the of O here has been changed to I. But for this class, for this video, we only look at of. So B here stands for brackets. So we first of all look at what we have inside brackets, then of multiplication, of bracket of division, bracket of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So which means, and sometimes multiplication, you can do the multiplication before addition, or addition before multiplication. So it's the same thing. Then addition and subtraction. But that is, we must first of all perform operation on division and multiplication before addition and subtraction. Just like the case of what we have on the board here. So we have, so which means we must first of all finish this one before we add. We must finish this before we add. So how are we going to do this? It's very straightforward. So what are we going to do first? That is 1 over 4 multiplied by, then this one we have inside the bracket here. We can change this one to improper fraction. 2 times 4, that is 8 plus 3, that is 11 over 4, divided by 3 all over what? 8. Right? We close it, plus, change this one again. 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2. That is what? 5 over what? 3. Right? So we can combine this together. That's 1 all over 4 times 11 all over 4 times, we change this one, 8 over what? 3. Then we can put this one in brackets, or we can leave it like that, but you just know that you're not adding, plus 5 over 3. So this, all these ones are what? Multiplication. 4 here 1, 4 here what? 2. Yes, 2 here 1, 2 here what? 2. So what do we have left? We have 11 all over what? 3. All over 6 rather. 2 times 3, that is 6, plus 5 over 3. You notice that, let me put this in brackets so I will not confuse you. So we know that we finish this one before we add. So 4 here 1, 4 here 2, 2 here 1, 2 here 2. So we have 1 times 11 times 1, that gives 11. 2 times 3 gives what? 6. Plus 5 over 3. So from here now we can then use what? Find the LCM of 6 and 3. So which is what? 6. So 6 in 6, 1. 1 times 11, 11. Plus 3 in 6, what? 2. 2 times 5, that is 10. Add these two together, that will be 21 all over what? 6. So 6 in 21, that is 3, which is 18. Remainder what? 3. Even before that, we can reduce this one. 3 here, 2. 3 here, what? 7. 7 all over 2, which is 3 whole number, 1 all over what? 2. I believe this is very clear, and I hope that I'm not too fast while explaining this. So we look at second example now. Example 2. So we have 2 whole number 2 over 5 multiplied by 5 over 6. Everything divided by 3 whole number 3 all over 4 divided by 2 whole number 1 all over 2. So look at what we have here. So we have this, the numerator as its operation and denominator as its own operation. So it's like we can separate them, put this one separately. That means 2 whole number 2 over 5 times 5 over 6 divided by this one. 3 whole number 3 all over 4 divided by what? 2 whole number 1 all over 2. You can see it's still the same thing. So because this line is division line, so we can solve this, we can solve them together now. So we change everything to improper fraction. So 2 times 5, 10. That is 12 over 5 times 5 over 6. Let's close it. Divided by, change this one again. So this will be what? 12, 15, 15 over 4 divided by, this is 5 over what? Over 2. Close it. So this one, we give a 5 here, 1, 5 here, 6 here, 1, 6 here, what? 2. This is 2 over 1. Then divided by, we can change this one. This will be 15 over 4 times 2 over what? 5. So 2 here 1, 2 here 2, 5 here 1, 5 here what? 3. So this means we're going to have 2 over 1 divided by what? 3 all over what? 2. 3 times 1, 3, 2 times 1, 2. So that means we have 2 over 1 times 2 over what? 3. But we have changed this one to division. So we flip this one. So that means the answer is what? 4 all over what? 3, which is 1 whole number, 1 all over what? 3. I hope this is very clear. So that is it. You can see that it's very straightforward. Once you understand the previous concept, the next concept will not give you problem. That's one thing about mathematics. So the concept they depend on one another. Exactly. So we look at another example now before we end this video. This is the third example. So you have this 1 whole number 3 over 7, 2 whole number multiplied by 2 whole number 5 over 8 divided by 2 whole number 1 over 4. You can see this, they are just using the arrangement of the question to distract you, to see it as if it's something that is very difficult. No, it's not difficult. So what you expected to do by you is this. You break them down. Just break things down. So this is 1 whole number 3 over 7. This is multiplication. Then this one, put it, this 2 in brackets. That is 2 whole number 5 over 8. This line is division line. Put division, normal division. 2 whole number 1 all over 4. You can see that we've broken everything down. So in this case now, so change everything to improper fraction. This is 10 over 7 times, this one will be what? 16, 21 over 8. 2 times 8, that is 16. 16 plus 5 is what? 21. Divided by 8, that is 9 over what? 4. So, you know, I can see that I've removed the brackets. Good. Because it's division multiplication. So we can have 10 over 7 times 21 over 8. So we can then change this one to what? Times straight. 4 over what? 9. So we can then cut now. So 4 here 1, 4 here what? 2. 2 here 1, 2 here what? 5. 7 here 1, 7 here 3. 3 here 1, 3 here what? 3. So what do we have left? 5 at the top. That is 5 divided by, what do we have at the bottom? 3. So which means our answer will then be what? 1 whole number 2 all over 3. I believe this is clear. So this is the end of this topic of this video. So we have been able to achieve all the 3 objectives that we have set for ourselves. So that is the end. So if you find this video useful and helpful, please kindly give us a thumb up and subscribe if you have not subscribed, and make sure you put on your notification bell. So anytime I release video like this, you'll be able to benefit from it and get notification on time. So we'll meet in the next video. Bye for now.